Another day begins. Potatoes and ham for breakfast. That's new. Another day searching houses, opening windows, closing curtains, checking the TV broadcasts. Still, no sign of life. One of them jumped at the window while I was checking the frame. I didn't hear it coming. It startled me. I'll admit that. Even after all this time, they still find ways to remind me I'm human. This one got itself caught on the glass. I watched it struggle for a moment. Arms flailing, mouth snapping at the air. Then it lunged. Hard, I stepped back just in time. Lucky not to have gotten scratched. I remember the news talking about bites and scratches. The anchors tried to keep their voices steady, tried to pretend everything was under control. But you could see the fear behind their eyes. They told us to stay calm, to stay indoors, to avoid contact. They didn't tell us what to do when the world stopped listening. Later, I found a box of old VHS tapes. Dusty, cracked, forgotten. I held one in my hand and felt a wave of memory wash over me. Blockbuster Video, Friday nights, late feed, rewinding tapes. A whole world that disappeared long before the dead started walking. Strange how nostalgia can hit harder than any zombie. I checked more basements, heard more screaming in the distance. That sound carries differently now. It echoes through the empty streets like a reminder that I'm not as alone as I think. Though not in the way I'd hoped. I followed the noise, but ended up finding a cabin in the woods instead. One lone zombie stumbled out from behind it. I let it fall, and let it follow me out so I wouldn't have to drag the body. Even in the apocalypse, a man appreciates efficiency. Inside the cabin, I found good fishing gear, real good, enough to keep me fed for a while. I headed back to my temporary base and rested. In my head, I hear a song that I caught on the radio last night.
Listen to my cheesy lyrics, 80s music in my heart. If you watch video tubes, watch me mama. And zombies everywhere. Vanilla Ice, Turtles, Heroes, Zomboid, K1, and the Mamemeister. Calling the Wizarding Ponder, calling the Canadian. Jamie 69, down the rabbit hole, Kev Swifto. Ian Hill, the ramblings, Muckman Movies, Ben
On the way, I saw a gas station. For some reason, my mind wandered, and I didn't get fuel. Brain fog. That creeping haze that makes you wonder if you've been bitten and just didn't notice. I checked myself over. Nothing. But doubt is a powerful thing. The car didn't last long before it ran out of fuel. So I walked, step after step, back toward the first house that gave me shelter. When I saw it, it felt like seeing an old friend. A beautiful sight. But I remembered the zombie that came alive even after I thought I'd bashed his brains in. Then I went inside and rested. Somewhere in the distance, a man screamed. I listened, waited, but still, after all this time, I haven't seen a single normal person. And soon enough, I saw the big house. My house, I hope no one had taken it over while I was gone. But everything was just as I left it. I poured myself a glass of water. It tasted better than it had any right to. I put everything away, organized what little I had, and thought to myself that it was still early. I could head back to the first house, then make my way to the gas station to get petrol while the power was still on. I told myself I could make it back before nightfall. I questioned myself as I started running again. I did keep an eye out for a zombie with camouflage pants, but I couldn't find one. I may have lost my mind slightly talking to doors. He told me to shut it, and then something about it not swinging that way. Who knows? I passed the bodies of the dead again. I thought they might be excited to see me, but all I got was a deadpan stare. I had brought a bit of gas with me, but once again, the brain fog hit. I tried going the wrong way back to the shelter. Something was wrong with me. Or maybe this is just what happens when a man spends too much time alone. The car didn't last long before the gas ran out again. I remember telling my wife I could make a car out of spaghetti. She told me to be quiet. You should have seen her face when I drove at pasta. So I walked back to the first house and went to bed early. That meant I woke early too, my head clear, my plan sharp. Get to the gas station, fuel up, then search for my family, assuming the gas station still had fuel. Oh, I have a good one. What do you call a fly without wings? A walk. I headed through the forest skirting swamps and lakes until I reached a holiday cabin place in the woods. A quiet little spot. I found an empty cabin and secured it as best I could. There are always zombies lurking close. I check their faces, just in case. Sometimes I think I'll see someone I know, a friend, a family member. But decay has a way of stealing identity. More zombies appeared, but I stayed focused. The mission mattered more. The local bait shop had fishing gear and all sorts of useful supplies. When I reached the gas station, I tried every door lock, all of them. So I smashed the window and climbed in, careful not to cut myself. There's no emergency care anymore. A simple cut can be a death sentence. Inside, I checked the shelves. Food, soda fuel canisters. Enough to keep me going, enough to give me hope. I fueled up and stood there for a moment, letting the weight of it settle in. This was a good find. Maybe the best I've had in days. Maybe enough to help me keep going, enough to help me find my family. And in a world like this, hope is the rarest resource of all.